As many of you have probably heard by now, this week in a routine test at work, I tested positive for COVID, and so I'm in quarantine for the next several days, and I'm so disappointed not to be able to be part of this celebration of life for Lois in person with you, because Lois was special to me. When I first became chaplain at the Shores some 9 years ago, I discovered Lois Eds was Dan Ed's mother. And Dan and I had been classmates at Seattle Pacific College some half century ago. In fact, after I graduated, went on to seminary and became a pastor, Dan was my first financial advisor. And so as a result, Lois and I developed a very special relationship. I often would stop in and see her, and we'd visit, and she'd let me know that it was the highlight of her day. You know, because every memorial service we attend is one closer to our own, I often write a little rhyme in honor of those from the Shores who have taken the trip of a lifetime. In the case of our dear friend Lois, I wrote a rhyme for her a couple months before she packed her bags for heaven. We didn't know the train was going to leave as early as it did. She had fallen and broken a pelvis and was in a lengthy recovery in the health center. And as I contemplated a way to brighten her day, I thought of another woman by the name of Lois, one mentioned in the New Testament, whose love and influence in her grandson's life made a difference. I think you probably know that the grandmother Lois I'm referring to, was the grandmother of Timothy, the Apostle Paul's protege. And so these words flowed from my pen. A grandmother named Lois nurtured one named Timothy. His faith grew strong because his grandma cared. She prayed for him and challenged him to serve the Lord with joy. And we know how that young disciple fared. And you, dear friend, have Jason, for whom you ask the Lord to guide and guard and fill him every day. Your ministry continues even as your fracture heals. Would you add me to the list each time you pray? I wrote that for Lois, celebrating her special relationship that she had with her grandson, Jason. And because I know what a prayer warrior Lois was, I asked her to pray for me. I could tell by her reaction as I read her that poem that day in the health center just what it meant to her. And I coveted her prayers. In her notes for her memorial service, Lois requested that I sing. I had no idea she wanted me to sing. And she even made reference to the song she wanted me to sing. When the family told me, I was really surprised. But then I was delighted when I discovered that the song that she'd asked for me to sing when the day for her memorial service would come is one that's one of my favorites as well. It was written by a traveling evangelist by the name of Charles Weigle. 90 years ago, when Lois was just 6 years old, he wrote these words. They were special to her, and I hope as you hear them sung, they will be special to you. Lois, thank you for allowing me to honor your faith and your life with the words of this beautiful song. I would love to tell you what I think of Jesus, how I found in him a friend so strong and true. I would tell you how he changed my life completely. He did something that no other friend could do. No one ever cared for me like Jesus. There's no other friend so kind as He. No one else could take the sin and darkness from me. Oh, how much He cared for me. All my life was full of sin when Jesus found me. All my heart was full of misery and woe. Jesus placed His strong and loving arms around me, and He led me in the way I ought to go. No one ever cared for me like Jesus. There's no other friend as kind as He. No one else could take the sin and darkness from me. Oh, how much He cared for me. Every day He comes to me with new assurance. More and more I understand His words of love. But I'll never know just why He came to save me, till someday I see His blessed face above. No one ever cared for me like Jesus. There's no other friend so kind as He. No one else could take the sin and darkness from me. Oh, how much He cared for me. No one else could take the sin and darkness from me. Oh, how much He cares for me.